Okay, let's step straight into the design studio. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to equip you with a professional designer's lens. We're talking about how to instantly deconstruct absolutely any Western garment. Whether you're aiming to work with major international brands, design killer Indo-Western fusion, or honestly just drastically elevate your own personal style, understanding the true foundation of Western wear is absolutely essential. We're not here to just memorize clothing names today. We're going to learn how to actually see clothes exactly the way top-tier fashion designers do. So, let's unlock that cinematic high fashion mindset, shall we?
To get there, here's our agenda for today's masterclass. We're kicking off with the foundations of Western fashion, then moving right into silhouettes and categories, followed by occasion and functionality. After that, we'll dive into the 13-point analysis framework, put it to the test with a wrap dress demonstration, and wrap the whole thing up with some common mistakes and pro tips. Section 1. Foundations of Western Fashion. Let's completely clear the slate here.
The absolute most crucial point to grasp right away is that Western fashion isn't just about foreign clothes. Not at all. It's actually a highly specific method of construction. Yes, it's a design vocabulary that evolved throughout European and American history, but today, an A-line dress follows the exact same engineering principles, whether it's stitched in New York, London, or Mumbai. It's fundamentally defined by tailored structure and stitched construction. We're talking darts, seams, structured lines, and layered pieces. This doesn't mean it's inherently more modern than traditional wear. It's simply a completely different engineering language for working with fabric.
To put that into perspective, think about traditional Indian wear, like a stunning sari. That is fundamentally an unstitched drape. It's masterfully wrapped and pleated around the natural body. Western fashion, on the flip side, relies entirely on tailored, stitched construction. The fabric is cut and physically sewn into permanent shapes that are engineered to either mimic or completely alter the body's natural lines. So it really boils down to the fluid nature of an unstitched drape versus the engineered architectural fit of tailored pieces.
Moving right along to Section 2, Silhouettes and Categories.
Now, here's your golden rule as an aspiring designer. Silhouette should always be your first observation, way before you start looking at any of the details. You have to look at that overall outer shape before you let yourself get distracted by gorgeous embroidery, prints, or fabric textures. Think of the silhouette as the literal shadow the garment casts. If you can't identify that shadow, the details honestly just don't matter yet.
In Western fashion, there are 6 fundamental silhouettes you need to know. First, the A-line, which basically mirrors the letter A with a narrow top and a flared hem. Next, for a really sleek look, you've got the straight or column shape, falling directly from shoulder to hem. When you want a bit more drama, the fit and flare cinches right at the waist before blooming outward. To really celebrate natural curves, there's the bodycon. Then we have the empire, which raises the waistline all the way up directly under the bust. And finally, the classic ball gown, giving you ultimate volume with a fitted bodice and a massive, dramatic skirt.
Okay, so once you know the silhouette, you map the garment to one of 4 foundational categories. This is really how a functional wardrobe is built. You have your tops and upper body wear, like shirts and blouses. You've got bottom wear, like skirts and trousers. Then one-piece garments, like dresses and jumpsuits. And, importantly, outerwear, which covers your jackets, blazers, and coats. These 4 blocks are essentially the puzzle pieces of any collection, and outerwear is especially critical here because layering is a massive part of Western fashion's DNA, letting outfits adapt seamlessly across seasons and different events.
Which brings us right to Section 3, Occasion and Functionality.
So, what occasion is this outfit designed for? This is hands down the absolute most important question a designer asks. Why? Because it instantly reveals why specific fabrics and fits were chosen by the creator. Functionality always dictates the design. I mean, you wouldn't wear a massive ball gown to the grocery store, right? And you definitely wouldn't wear a relaxed cotton t-shirt to a black tie gala.
Let's break that down a bit. A casual outfit is always going to prioritize comfort and movement, which is why you see relaxed fits and breathable fabrics. But shift over to formal or office wear and the whole requirement changes to projecting authority and crisp neatness, and that relies heavily on structured tailoring. Evening and party wear, that's all about a statement silhouette and richer, more luxurious fabrics. And bridal wear leans all the way into dramatic shapes and heavy embellishments. The occasion is literally the steering wheel for every single design choice.
All right, Section 4, the 13-point analysis framework. When you're evaluating a garment, you always want to start macro with the first 6 points. Number 1, identify the silhouette, that outer shape. 2, trace the neckline. 3. Check out the sleeve type. 4. Locate the waistline. Is it natural or maybe dropped? 5. Evaluate the overall length. And 6. Determine the fit. And a quick reminder here, fit is very different from silhouette. Fit is simply how tightly or loosely the fabric actually sits against the body.
Then, we zoom into the micro-elements for points 7 through 13. Point 7 is identifying the fabric type, which leads directly into point 8, texture. Is it smooth, rough, sheer? Point 9 is color and the specific mood it evokes, followed by point 10, surface details. Think striking embroidery or beading. Point 11 gets into the true engineering, the construction details like seams and darts. And finally, points 12 and 13 step back to look at the big picture. How do the styling, accessories, and overall vibe come together to perfectly fit a specific occasion?
Let's put this into practice with Section 5, our wrap dress demonstration.
Notice how, in just a matter of seconds, a trained designer's eye can completely break down the technical DNA of a piece. If we analyze a classic wrap dress, we instantly see a fit and flare silhouette. The wrap construction inherently creates a beautiful deep V neckline. The sleeves hit perfectly at that 3/4 mark. The self-tie belt beautifully defines a natural waistline. And just by observing how the skirt falls and moves, we can easily guess the fabric is a flowy crepe. Paired with minimal jewelry, this kind of piece effortlessly bridges that tricky gap between day wear and evening wear. It really is a masterclass in purposeful design.
Now, for Section 6, common mistakes and tips. Let's make sure you don't fall into the usual traps.
There are 6 huge beginner mistakes we see all the time. A really common trap is confusing silhouette with fit. Another is assuming Western simply means foreign, rather than recognizing it as a specific construction style. Please don't make the mistake of getting distracted by flashy details before identifying that base silhouette, or judging an outfit merely by asking if it's trendy instead of actually analyzing its construction. And finally, never ignore the occasion it was built for, and never ever mix up your foundational garment categories when breaking down a piece.
To counter those, here are 5 pro designer tips you should definitely take to heart. Always start your analysis with the silhouette. Constantly ask yourself who is wearing it, when, and why. Make it a daily habit, almost like a game, to practice guessing fabric drape just by watching how clothes move on people walking down the street. Keep detailed notes of these observations in a portfolio to build up your visual library. And lastly, if you're getting into fusion design, treat Indian and Western concepts as a unified vocabulary, not 2 totally separate compartments.
So, here is my question for you. The next time you open up your closet, are you just going to see a random pile of clothes? Or will you see tailored construction, purposeful silhouettes, and absolutely endless design possibilities? Start applying this professional designer's lens today, and I promise you, you will never look at fashion the exact same way again.